Hello everyone, so in this video I want to talk about my favorite Archon, and not only is she my favorite Archon, but she's also my favorite character in Genshin, and that character is Furina, and I want to talk about her C6 and if it's worth going for it. I know that her first rerun is going to be coming very soon because Archons usually get their rerun pretty fast, and after spending almost 2 months with this character since November 8th, that was her release date, and right away I went for her C6, and luckily for me, after 8 months of savings, and also I spent like $150 on her, I got her C6, and luckily I got her R1 as well, and I am satisfied with my C6 Archon Furina, but I really wanted to kind of go over her C6, and now after 2 months later, I'm not too sure if it's worth the Primo Gems to go all the way to C6. So, and I also wanted to compare her with another Hydro broken character, Yelan, her C6, and she was my first C6 5-star, and she was more of a transformative C6 than Furina, even though Furina output more damage, but it's interesting to say the least, and I cannot wait to kind of analyze this with you guys live. So, and I also wanted to show you guys my stats, my Furina stats. So here we go, Furina, the Hydro Archon, Fossilor, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I got her R1, and aesthetically it's very nice, goes with her obviously, and artifacts, I do have her tailor-made Golden Troop artifacts. It's not as good, those substats. I do need to grind more, unfortunately, because I do want these substats to be a bit better, but overall it's okay. So we're going to talk about her C6, and I want to go into details because it's like a freaking essay. So to kind of sum it up right here, the first part, whenever you use her elemental skill, you do have that 10 seconds to do this very high Hydro damage, because her normal attack gets infused with Hydro, and for that only 10 seconds, and I'm saying this because that 10 seconds is not enough for me, because in order for you to do all the rotations, but before all of that, you want to make sure that you have Furina's burst out and her elemental skill to increase the fanfare stack. So it plays a lot of factors into this, and it's, in the beginning it was very confusing, but now after 2 months later, I realized that 10 seconds is just not enough, and that's the reason why I do feel like Yelan C6 has more advantage. So we all know she has 2 different stands, the Uja stand and the Anuma stand. So Uja is the one that, she has 3 sea creatures that attacks every 1 second. All nearby characters in party will be healed by 4% of Furina's max HP for a duration of 2.9 seconds. Triggering this effect again will extend its duration. So even though it's supposed to heal 4% of Furina's max HP, and of course you're going to be using that while you have her burst up, and her burst with her fanfare stack, it increases her HP. But unfortunately 4% is just not enough for the duration to be 2.9 seconds. That itself is not enough either. So it's a very low number, and I looked at it and tested it out. It's just not worth just the stand. Of course you're going to be an Uja stand because you want her to do damage, but the effect from the C6, it's just very underwhelming. And now the Numa stand, to summarize that, just increases her attack damage from 18%. That was the original from her first paragraph. Right here, damage is also increased by amount equivalent to 18% of Furina's max HP. Now, with her C6, for the 10 seconds, If you're a Numa stand, that 18% increases. And that's what it says at the bottom where it says, and then addition to that, it gets increased to 25%. So 18 plus 25, and that's 43. For me, even though it was very satisfying to see that big number of Hydra damage, her being on the field, but Furina is just not built for that. She's not supposed to be on field for a long period of time. She's more so a sub DPS with her elemental skill. And even though C6 provides you this, extra damage and, extends Furina's on-field time, but it's just not worth spending. I'm sorry. And mind you, this is my favorite character, and regret pulling for her C6, no. But I am advising people, unless you love Furina, and if you have the means, why not? But her C6 is not end all be all, unfortunately. And not only does the Hydra infusion last for 10 seconds, but within those 10 seconds, you're only allowed to do 6 attacks. Yeah. So the center of attention can be triggered up to 6 times. It was 7 times before they changed it. I don't know why they reduced it. So you have 10 seconds to think about. Like, you have to make sure that you get all the rotations of other, team members in, and that not only that, you only have 6 attacks. So if you really think about it, if one attack takes 1 second, 6 attacks is what? 6 seconds. So you only have 4 seconds to do all your other team members' rotations. And I wish the duration was a lot longer. Instead of 10 seconds, it was maybe 15 seconds. The 6 seconds of the infusion attack, it's fine. The 10 seconds just trips me out every time, because, I never have enough. And when it expires because her glow, whenever you use her elemental skill, will disappear. Like I said, I love this character. I crowned her twice, and I don't know if I'm going to go for the normal attack. I don't know if she gains out of anything from her Hydra Infusion C6, but I'm going to definitely test it out. She is my favorite character, don't get me wrong, but compare her to... Now let's look at Yelan's C6. Because when I summoned for her Yelan C6, and that was not when she first got released, I waited for her first rerun, and for me, Yelan still to this day has like the best constellations overall. This is Yelan's C6 winner takes all duration. It lasts for 20 seconds. That's double of Furina's center of attention duration, which is only 10 seconds, and will be cleared after fires 5 arrows, even though it's 1 less than Furina's 6 attacks. But for me, 20 seconds makes a huge difference, because within those 20 seconds you can get all your characters, your other team members' rotation in. But that's the difference between Yelan and Furina. Even though Furina, going by damage scaling, it's higher, but also have to understand that Furina is a melee attacker and Yelan is a range attacker with her arrows. So that also helps Yelan out a lot. She doesn't have to travel so close to the enemy to do those damage. And Furina, you do have to get really close to strike them with your sword. Yelan, on the other hand, she can just, keep her distance and then attack them. And it's a big difference. The duration and being the fact that Yelan is a ranged attacker and Furina is a melee attacker. We're not talking about her elemental skill, Furina's elemental skill. We're just talking about the C6. Like, for me, it's just pretty disappointing. I know I'm kind of complaining about something that's so stupid, but I just wanted to talk about it because these two are my only C6 characters. And when I compare the two, it's Yelan, she's a bit better. It hurts me to say it because I love Yelan, but Furina is my favorite character. I feel like it's worth going for Yelan C6 more so than Furina. But thank you so much for watching.